The Toothpaste Millionaire, Chapter 12. The Toothpaste Machine. The toothpaste goes in from the bottom naturally, Rufus said. Look, the bottoms of the tubes are open. You stuff the toothpaste in and then crimp the bottom shut. Oh, I said, much relieved. My brother James says I'm the only person he knows who would buy 7,200 tubes without stopping to figure out how it's going to get the toothpaste inside. Even though the toothpaste didn't have to go in the top, it wasn't easy filling the tubes. The bottom opening wasn't as big as on the jars we had been using, and we got a lot of toothpaste on the outside of the tube. Josie was complaining one day that there must be some easier way of filling tubes than packing the paste in with the end of a spoon. Isn't there some kind of machine for filling tubes? She asked Rufus. There must be, Rufus said. I wonder if we could make one. We don't even know what one looks like, I said. I bet it looks something like this. Rufus got a pencil and started to draw a machine. The main part would be a big metal bowl, he said, maybe 10, 20, or 30 feet across the top, so you could mix up 10, 20, or 30 tons of toothpaste at a time. Bicarb cost a lot less by the ton than by the pound. Rufus studied the big bowl he had drawn. The bowl would have a lot of little holes in the bottom, he said. There would be little hoses running out of the holes. How it would work, he explained, is you'd stick an empty tube at the end of each little hose. Then you'd put a round sheet of metal over the toothpaste mixture. When you pressed down on the metal sheet, the paste would be squeezed into the tubes. Or you could use steam pressure to force the paste down into the tube. You'd have to have a boiler to build up the steam. As Rufus kept adding parts to the machine, I felt a little discouraged. The machine sounded more complicated than a car motor. And if you've ever looked under the hood of a car, you know that's already too complicated. Though Rufus was very good at figuring out how to make things, I really didn't think he could make a toothpaste machine. And as it was my idea to put the toothpaste in tubes, I felt responsible for finding an easier way of doing it. I was sitting in the laundry room one afternoon staring at one of the cartons the tubes were packed in. I noticed the name of the company that had ordered the tubes from the Perfect Packaging Company. The carton was addressed to the Happy Lips Lotion Company, 29 Cuyahoga Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. The Happy Lips Lotion Company had gone bankrupt, but before they did, they must have had some kind of machine for filling those 50 gross of tubes. I looked up Cuyahoga Avenue on a map of Cleveland and rode my bike down there the next day. What I found at 29 Cuyahoga was a small brick factory building. It looked run down. A sign on the front said "For Rent" and gave a telephone number. I walked around the building trying to look in the windows, but the panes were covered with soot. I tried the front door of the building. It was locked. I noticed a man sitting on a bench outside the factory watching me. I wondered if he thought I was trying to break into the building. I walked a little away from the building and stood there looking it over for a minute, trying to look as if maybe I was thinking of renting it. I even took out a pencil and wrote down the telephone number on the "For Rent" sign. The man kept watching me as I walked back to my bike. There isn't any law about looking at a building that is for rent, but I thought maybe I should leave. Before I could get on my bike, the man got up and walked towards me. He was about 6 feet tall with big shoulders and big hands, and he was carrying a wrench about 3 feet long. "Can I help you?" he asked. "No, thank you," I said. "I'm just looking." Then I felt silly. I had sounded like my mother in a department store when she isn't really going to buy anything. I felt I had to explain a little more. "For a machine," I said, "I have this friend who needs a certain kind of machine." Which I realized sounded even worse. So then I really had to explain. "A machine for filling toothpaste tubes," I said. "Yeah?" the man said, and his face lit up as if I'd told him I was on the track of some buried treasure. "Well, you see, my friend has all these toothpaste tubes," I said. "Over 7,000 of them." Now, that did sound crazy. If you knew about Rufus, it made sense, but if you didn't, it sounded like saying, "I have this friend who has 7,000 banana peels or 7,000 refrigerator doors." I mean, what would a normal person be doing with things like that? "As a matter of fact, I gave them to him," I said, hoping I didn't look like a crazy person, even if I sounded like one. "Toothpaste tubes, you said?" I pulled a sample tube out of my pocket. "They're like this," I said. "Oh, sure," the man said. "That's number 5 aluminum round ended with a round knurled cap." "It is?" I said. "Good tube," the man said. "No problem. Bet I have filled 1,000,000 of them." "You have?" I said. "Are you in the toothpaste business?" "Right now I'm unemployed," the man said. "But your friend, is he in the toothpaste business?" And that's how I met Hector. Hector was a mechanic who used to work for the Happy Lips Lotion Company. He had been out of work ever since Happy Lips went bankrupt. And he had been hanging around the factory on Cuyahoga Avenue, hoping that whoever rented the plant might need a mechanic to take care of the machinery. "You mean there's a tube-filling machine still in there?" I asked. "Is there?" Hector said. "It's the most beautiful piece of machinery you ever saw. I practically designed it myself. Would you like to see it?"